Year 5 Mini Mock 4 NVR series. Let's look at question 1. What is the pattern? Each time you're adding two of these little hexagons. So the next option should have 6 of them. So we can cancel out option A. Additionally, you've got 5 lines on the left side. Each time one of the lines are being removed and moved to the right side. So there should be 3 lines on the right, should be 2 lines on the left, which is option C. Look at question 2. This shape seems to be duplicating, right? There's 1 here, should be 2 here, and then there's 3, and then there's 4. So I'm going to cancel out A because it's got 3 of them. This X at the bottom is moving down, then up, then down, then up. So it should be at the top, it should be either C or D. Now, how do I know if it's going to be either of these? D has got a plus rather than an X. And you can see every time it's at the top, it's actually a plus, right? So it can't be option C, it's going to be option D. Question 3. Now, this shape has a new line added to it each time. You got 1, 3, 4. So we know this one's going to be 2. I'm going to cancel these options out. It looks like this V is going up and down, so it's at the top, it should be at the bottom, then at the top, then at the bottom. So at the bottom, it's going to be option D. Okay, next question. The arrows here seem to be switching, so up, down, and then down, up. Should be up, down, okay? Let's cancel up these options. Each time you're also adding one of these lines, so there should be 2 lines, diagonal lines, which is option C. Question 5. The triangle is rotating 90 degrees clockwise each time, so it should be pointing left. So cancel this option out. It's also going grey, striped, so it should be grey. You're also losing 2 lines on the outside each time. So if I lose 2 lines, I should only be left with 2 lines, okay? Question 6. This whole shape is rotating 90 degrees. So imagine this box is rotated 90 degrees, and it should be rotated 90 degrees again. You'll have something, an orientation that looks like this, okay? Not C. Now, on top of that, each time it's rotated, one of the shapes turns grey. So there should be 2 shapes that are grey. You can see 0 shapes grey, 1 shape grey, 2, and then 3, okay, which is going to be option D. Question 7. You've got the car. Each time it's adding one of these white boxes to it. So you can see there's 1 here, there's 2 here, there should be 3. Okay, so that's either going to be option A or option D. You also got a new shape. Shape always has to be grey, so it's going to be option A, not option D. Question 8. The shape here, the grey shape here, is top left, then it's bottom left, then it's bottom right. So we know it's rotating around the corners, so it should be top right this time. Only option that has got a top right grey shape is this one right here. So you can already just cancel out the rest of them. You can also see there's another pattern. It's this shape right here is rotating. It's rotating anti-clockwise, and that matches the pattern here. Okay? Question 9. You have these squares, and each time we're losing one of these diagonal lines. So you can see there's 3, then there's 2, and then there's 1. Meaning this one should have 4 diagonal lines. It's either going to be option A or option C. Okay. Now, on top of that, what I'm seeing is the shading is being removed. Okay. So this shading is removed, it's turned white. And then this shading is removed, it's turned white. Okay. Meaning we should have these 2 in this box, but we should also have 1 more being shaded. So this should also be shaded, which is option A. Can't be option C because only one of the boxes are shaded. Question 10. The line is growing. You got top line and then there's line on the right. We should have 1, 2, 3, which is only option C. Question 11. The quarter is on the top right, then the bottom right, then the bottom left, top left. Should be top right this time. Okay, I'm going to cancel these options out. It's also going from cross-hatching to diagonal lines to cross-hatching, diagonal lines, and then cross-hatching again. So this one should be cross-hatching and it should be in the top right, which is option B. Question 12. The line here is horizontal, stays the same all the time, but it's pointing to the... So I mean, the shape right here, which is the diamond, is on the right side, then on the left side, then on the right side, then on the left side. It should be on the right side this time. So I'm going to cancel these options. You can see it's also moving, right? So it's pointing first at this angle, then it's pointing straight, and then it's pointing to that angle. This time it's flat, and then next it should be a bit further past. So it's a bit confusing, but it's basically getting, so at least if you imagine this way, it's moving further clockwise, whereas from the boxes on the left, it's moving anti-clockwise. Okay. So if it's going to be clockwise, it's going to be option E. Question 13. The pentagons here, or the whole shape actually, is rotating clockwise 90 degrees. If you rotate it again, the pentagons would be pointing down. Okay, now this isn't pointing down. Look at these. Neither is this one. Now it could be any of these options. What else is changing? Each time one of these black pentagons is turning into striped. So we should have 3 striped pentagons. It can either be D or option A. On top of that, one of these squares is also becoming striped. Look, it's 0 striped, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Okay, it's going to be 2, which is option A. Question 14. We've got a hexagon that turns into a pentagon. So 6 sides, 5 sides. We should have 4 sides next, and then 3 sides, and it goes back to 6 sides. Look at the stars. It's 5, 4. Should be 3, 2. Okay. So square with 3 stars, option D. Question 15. We've got 4 sides on the outside, 4 on the inside, which is 8. Got 4 on the outside. Got 6, and then 10. Okay, it doesn't seem to be a pattern there. I can see a pattern with the striping. It's diagonal, then it's horizontal, then it's this way, and then it's straight. So the pattern is rotating, you can see, rotating 45 degrees each time. So next it should be diagonally to the right, the pattern of the inside shape. So I'm going to cancel the options that don't match that. It's either going to be E or B now. Alright, now it's not going to be B because this shape has already been inside, so it's going to be option E. Question 16. There is 5 squares, black squares, then there's 4 black squares, then there's 3, then there's 2, and there should be 1. Now the number of black circles, 1 black circle, then there's 0, then there's 1, then there's 0. There should be 1. Okay, it's going to be option B. Question 17. The plus symbol, the black circle on the top left, then moves to the right, then it should move to the bottom right. So we can cancel out these options. Each time it moves, a plus replaces it. So we should have 2 pluses on the top. Can't be B because it's got a black plus. Now this one is pointing right, and then these are 2, so it's flipping each time. So we know this one should be pointing right, and it should have 5 arrows because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, is option D. Oh, sorry. Let's double check this. Not going to be this or this or this. You can also see the dashed line. There's a new pattern there. So it's 0 dashed lines, and then there's 1, and then there's 1, and then there's 2 dashed lines. So I think there should be 2 dashed lines, which is going to be option A. You can see the number of dashed lines. 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. It would then be 3, 3. But yeah, this one's going to be 2. Okay, option A. Question 19. Rotating 45 degrees each time. Should be pointing to the bottom right. Now each time it's also flipping, so it's pointing right, then left, then right, then should be pointing that way. Should be option D or option B. Okay, so we know it's not going to be that. Look at the shape at the bottom. It's a rectangle, then this shape, then a circle. Then ideally it's going to be a rectangle again, because you can see it's repeating the pattern. It's turning into this shape again. So that means we know it's going to be option D. Question 20. This equals sign is in the middle, then bottom right, then something, and then middle again. I can also see this shape pointing down, then pointing up, then it should be pointing down, so I can cancel out this option. Arrow is pointing up, then to the right, then it should be up, and then to the left, and then up. Okay, so it could be up or down, I think. So because it seems to be, actually it seems to be rotating the arrow, so it's up, right, then down, and then left. Okay, so we know it's going to be arrow pointing down. So I'm left with option B, C, and E, if you're following along. Now the equal sign is the last piece, really. To me, it looks like these are always in a diagonal pattern, right? Arrows top right, middle left, okay? Then arrows in the middle, and then this time arrow should be at the bottom. So all of these have it at the bottom. But look, diagonal pattern like this, and then diagonal like this, and then it should be diagonal like this, and this, and this, okay? So we know the structure should be going like this, right? You can see that. I'm just going to rub out these. This option B is the only one that's got the pattern of these shapes going diagonally like this. So it's going to be option B. Question 21 goes black, and then whatever this shape is, so grey, and then striped. Black, grey, striped. Arrows, they're pointing clockwise. Always pointing clockwise. But you can see it's at the top, then at the right, then at the top, and then at the right. So it should be at the top this time. And this one is pointing clockwise, so it's going to be option B, not D. Question 22. You got 2 circles and 3, then 4. And then you're back to 2. So you know it's going to go 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Oh, it looks like none of the options are 3. So that's probably not the answer then. Let's look at the lines. You got 3 lines, and then 2 lines, and 1. Then you're back to 3 lines here. So I would assume again there should be 2 lines. So now we do have this in the option. So we can cancel this out. Cancel this, cancel this. It's either going to be D or it's going to be E. Now let's have a look. How are we going to know which one of these options is correct? So with the lines, there is 1 circle separated, and then there's 1 circle separated. This one's actually quite tough. So as we already know, the pattern here is going 3, 2, 1, and then it's going to be 2 lines, and then it's going to be 3 lines. So we know it's going to be 2 lines, like I did. Now with the circles, I initially thought the pattern would be 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 2. But none of the options here have 3 circles, meaning it's a different pattern. What I'm assuming is the box before it would have had 1 circle, then you got 2, 3, 4, and then it's going to restart at 1, and it's going to go 2, 3, 4. So you can see this one has 2 circles, which supports the theory, meaning this one should have 1 circle, which is 1, and it should have 2 lines, 1, 2, meaning it would be option D. Okay, question 23. The arrow here is pointing up, then right, then down, then left. It should be pointing up next if it's going rotating. Going black, white, grey, black, white, grey. So it's going to be option C. Question 24. The circle is in the bottom. Then it's, I don't know where it is, and then middle, and then top. And then top, and then middle. So you can see middle of the shape, top of the shape, top of the shape. So bottom of the shape. Likely it's bottom of the shape, then middle, top, top, and then middle, bottom, bottom. Bit like that, if that makes sense. So I would assume shape would be near the bottom, but let's see. What I've got is black, white, then white on the inside and black on the outside, then black, white, white, black, black, white, if that makes sense. We know the shape has to be black. Sorry, it has to be white on the inside from that. And then what I'm choosing, actually maybe the earlier thing was a distraction, but you've got it's pointing up, then it should be pointing top right, then that. So you can see it's rotating 45 degrees each time. And the circle is also always on the sort of right side of it, on the clockwise side of it. So you know it's going to be option B because it's on the right, whereas this is on the wrong side. Question 25. Triangle is pointing up, then to the bottom left, then to the bottom right, then probably up, and then bottom left, bottom right. Okay, so you know it's going to be pointing up. Circles. You can see it switching each time. If you can see that. It's this pattern, then it's got the white, and then it's the black, and it's the white. Okay, it's going to be option D. Question 26. This shape is rotating 90 degrees clockwise. So we should have a shape that looks similar to this. And that also means the line seems to be staying on the same side each time. The line should be at the top, and then the circle and the square also staying the same side, but it goes black and white, then they're both white, then it goes, I'd assume the square would be black and the circle would be white, and then they're both black. Square black, circle white. Okay, so you can see the circle turned white, and then one of them is turning black, and then both of them are black. Then one of them turns white, and then both of them are white. So option C. Question 27, you got 5 arrows that are pointing up, then 4 arrows that are pointing right, 3 pointing down, 2 pointing left. Next one's going to be pointing up because it's rotating 90 degrees each time, and it's only going to be 1 arrow. Question 28, you got 5 balls on all of these, but this one gets separated. We should have 2 being separated this time, so it's either going to be this one or this one that's getting separated. Meaning, let's see, these 2 should be together, if that makes sense. And this one as well. So these are the only options where they've still got the 2 balls together. We have to look at the colouring as well. So first box, all white. Second box, 3 are black. Next box should be all white. Then it's 3 black. And then it's all white, okay? And it's going to be all white, which is option B, not option E. Rewatch that if you were a bit confused. Question 29. Pentagon is pointing up, then down, then up. Then it should be down next. The line is 1 line, then 2 lines, then 1 line, then it should be 2 lines. So it's going to be option A. Question 30. Triangle pointing down, then it's rotating up, right, and then it should be pointing down, okay? Now it goes grey, dark grey, white, grey, dark grey, white. Also the oval is getting smaller. Circle, then thinner circle, and then oval. Should be circle, and then it should be thinner circle, option B. Question 31. Got a circle. Bottom left, 1, 2, 3, that should be 4. Each time it's adding a white circle or a black circle. This one should add a white circle at the bottom, so it can't be this one. So look at the top as well. No triangles, and 1. Then there's 2. Then there should be 3, so it can't be this option. Look at the lines, there's 2 lines. Then there's 3, then there's 4. Then there should be 5. So that's going to be option C. Question 32. Skipping pattern. So we know this one is going to be a a square shape. The shape is also, colors of shading are changing. So you can see the black. The black is rotating. So I'd say the black should be on the right side. And I think this striped shape, part of the square, is being flipped. So it's top, then bottom, then it should be top. Okay, you're going to get option C because it's got top, and then also the black is on the right. So question 33. You can see the black circle is rotating. It should be in the top right this time. It's also adding one of these lines each time. So we should have something like this, because this one's got 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2. Okay, it's going to be option B. Question 34. So I think this one is rotating 45 degrees clockwise, meaning we should have pointing upwards, and also the circle is moving along the edges. So we should have the circle on this top corner. Okay, so I can cancel this out. The circle or the oval is also going black, white, black, white, black. Okay, so it should be white this time. And let's look at the striping. It's always the same striping, so it should be lined striping like this. Okay, option E, not option C. Question 35. The X is getting bigger each time, so it's a small X, then it's a massive X, and then it's a middle X. So small, big, medium. Should be small, big, medium. And it's actually, the whole shape is just repeating itself. So which one of these options looks like this? It's going to be option E. Because you can see this shape is right here. So it's just a 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3. It's following the same pattern over and over again. Question 36. We actually had this question already. So if you remember doing it, you know that it's going black and then white, black. So it should be 4 options. You should have a white circle at the bottom left, and you should have 5 lines, okay, because you've got 4 lines here. So 3, 2 should be 5 lines, okay, which is option C. Okay, question 37. You got 3 triangles, and then 2, and then 2, and then 1. So I'm thinking it's going to be 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Let's have a look. You got 2 circles, and 2 circles, and then 1 circle, and 1 circle. We should have 0 circles, and then 0 circles, okay? I'm going to cancel this option out. Look at the squares. There's no squares, then there's 1 square. Then there's 1 square, and there's 2 squares, and there should be 2 squares this time. So you can see it's always 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. A bit like that, okay? So which one of these has 2 squares? Any of these options? Now let's look at the, I'm going to rub these out. And let's look at the x's. So there's 0 x's, 0 x's, then there's 1x, 1x. Should be 2 x's this time. All of these match, okay? So Now what we're left with is what orientation should they be? Which way should it be pointing? Triangles are always pointing upwards. Which option has the triangle pointing upwards? Only option D. Okay, question 38 now. You've got an X here, and then you've got an X like this. So it loses one section, and then it loses another section, and then it should only have one section left, which seems to be the bottom left. So it's not going to be option A. Every time it loses a section, this square grows, this section. You can see it's 2. There's going to be 1, 2, 3. So, or it could be, my mistake, 1, 2, and it could also be like that. So it depends where it gets added, to be honest. It could be any of these, really. Let's look at the triangles. So, no triangles, then you've got 1, then you've got 2, you've got 4 here. So you know there's going to be 3 triangles, right? And you know you have to have the top one and the left one as well. What I'm going to assume is it's going in a pattern. So the triangles are added anti-clockwise, meaning we should have a triangle at the bottom. And the square is being added in a clockwise pattern, meaning this one should be next. Okay, so we should have option E. Question 39. This shape is flipping at the top, but then at the, oh, actually it's rotating. It's pointing down, then it should be pointing left. And then it's pointing up, then right, then down. Okay, so pointing left. Now, it looks like to me the black and the white are flipping as well. So if you rotated this 90 degrees clockwise, you would have a shape that looks like this. And the black would be at the bottom, but if it's flipped, then the black would be at the top. So we know it's going to be option A, because these ones are not the same. Oh, let's actually, I'm incorrect on that one. Sorry. It doesn't look like they're flipping. The black is always staying in the same point. Because if you imagine the rest of it, it's always staying the same. So that means the black should actually be at the bottom. So imagine again, rotating this, the black would be at the bottom. So I'm going to be option B. Now let's look at question 40. The spade is pointing to the top, then to the bottom, then to the top, to the bottom. Next one should be pointing to the top left, okay? Now let's look forward from here. Black square, then white square, then black square, then white square. It should be black square next, right? Striped pattern. So first of all, these are horizontal striping. Then it's vertical striping. Horizontal, vertical, should be horizontal next, which is option C. Question 41. Each time you're losing one of these shapes on the outside. So it lost this, then it lost this, then we'd probably lose this triangle next. Actually, we did lose a triangle, sorry. That means this one, we should only have these 2 shapes here. Or, from looking at the options, it looks like we're only going to have these 2 shapes. Can't be C, triangle is black. Can't be D or E because the shading is wrong on this. And actually, hold on, let's have a look. To me, it looks like the shape that is about to go, the shape that is about to be removed, has always got this diagonal lining, like this. Because you can see in the next shape, it changes to diagonal lining like this, meaning it's going to go. So we know that the next shape to go is going to be this one right here, and it should have diagonal lining. This one's pointing the wrong direction, this one's straight. So it can either be D or E. There should only be one shape that's changing their stripes. This shape, so this shape should stay normal like this. So it's going to be option E, diagonal lining because this tells us that it's going to be the next shape to get removed, and it can't be D because it's got diagonal lining on the wrong shape. Okay, question 42, which is the final question. This circle is rotating around, so it looks like it's moved up, or you could say the whole shape rotated. Yeah, to me it just looks like a pattern. So look at it as a whole, like a jigsaw puzzle. This is the same as this, and this would be similar to this, right? You'd have the vertical lining, if that makes sense. But let's have a look, just to double check. So the circle here, it moves to the left because you can see it's in the bottom left corner now. So actually this shape right here is staying in the same position. So this bottom circle is the only one that's moving. So the bottom right, then bottom left, then it moves up into this section, and then it should move to the right. Okay, so we should have something like this with the black in the middle. And then you can see from here it moves down. So we know it's going to be option C because it should be like this with the black in the middle. Okay, that's the end.
Continue with question number 1 from the math section. Question number 1 says, work out the size of the angle marked aqui, given that the adjacent angle is 110 degrees. You have these options. Option A, 130. Option B, 140. Option C, 150. Option D, 160. And option E, 170. The correct answer here is option D, which is 160 degrees. Now, let's explore why. If you add 110 degrees to the angle Y, you would get a total of 270 degrees all the way around that point. So, to find what Y is, we subtract 110 from 270, which leaves us with 160 degrees. Moving on to question 2. Work out the size of the angle marked W, which sits on a straight line with an angle of 121 degrees. The choices are option A, 49, option B, 59, option C, 69, option D, 58, and option E, 60. The correct answer is option B, 59. Do you remember that a straight line measures 180 degrees in total? Well, to find the size of angle blue, we simply take 180 degrees and minus 121 degrees from it, which gives us 59 degrees. Question number 3. Shown is a right-angled triangle with one angle of 38 degrees. Work out the size of angle Y. Your choices are option A, 52, option B, 53, option C, 154, option D, 155, and option E, 152. The answer here is option A, 52. Now you need to remember something important about triangles. All the angles inside a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. In this triangle, one angle is a right angle, meaning it's 90 degrees, and another angle is given to us at 38 degrees. So to find the missing angle, we subtract 90 and 38 from 180, which gives us 52 degrees. Let's go to question number 4. It states, looking at the clock in the evening, what type of angle is formed between the hour and minute hand? Option A is a right angle, option B is acute, option C is obtuse, option D is reflex, and option E is straight line. The correct answer here is option C, obtuse. Let's think about the clock. In the evening, the hour hand is definitely past the number 6, and the minute hand is pointing up, so the angle between the two will be more than 90 degrees, but it's not a straight line. So an obtuse angle is bigger than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees, and that's what the clock shows at that time. Question number 5 says, Emma measures an angle of 180 degrees. Match it to the correct type of angle. The options are option A, right angle, option B, acute, option C, obtuse, option D, reflex, and option E, straight line. The correct answer is option E, straight line. An angle that measures exactly 180 degrees will create a perfectly straight line. Let's go to question 6. Emma measures an angle of 79 degrees. Match it to the correct type of angle. The options are option A, right angle, option B, acute, option C, obtuse, option D, reflex, and option E, straight line. The answer is option B, acute. Remember, an acute angle is any angle that measures less than 90 degrees. Now, question 7. Emma measures an angle of 90 degrees. Match it to the correct type of angle. Here are the options. Option A, right angle. Option B, acute. Option C, obtuse. Option D, reflex. And option E, straight line. The answer to this one is option A, right angle. A right angle always measures exactly 90 degrees and looks like the corner of a square. Question 8 says, Emma measures an angle of 198 degrees. Match it to the correct type of angle. The options are option A, right angle, option B, acute, option C, obtuse, option D, reflex, and option E, straight line. And the answer to this one is option D, reflex. A reflex angle is an angle that is more than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. Question 9. Emma measures an angle of 94 degrees. Match it to the correct type of angle. The options are option A, right angle, option B, acute, option C, obtuse, option D, reflex, and option E, straight line. The answer is option C, obtuse. An obtuse angle is any angle that measures greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Okay, let's move on to question 10. Shown is a quadrilateral with angles of 75 degrees, 120 degrees, 130 degrees, and angle Y. Work out the size of angle Y. The options are option A, 25, option B, 30, option C, 33, option D, 35, and option E, 40. The answer is option D, 35. Do you know what a quadrilateral is? It's any four-sided shape. And the important thing to remember about quadrilaterals is that the angles inside always add up to 360 degrees. So to find angle Y, you add up the other three angles, 75, 120, and 130, to get 325. Then subtract that from 360 to get 35 degrees. Question 11 asks, shown is an equilateral triangle with each side measuring 7 millimeters. Work out the perimeter of the triangle. Your options are option A, 12, option B, 18, option C, 19, option D, 20, and option E, 21. The answer here is option E, 21. An equilateral triangle has three sides that are all the same length. In this case, each side is 7 millimeters, so the perimeter, which is the total distance around the edge, is 3 times 7, or 21 millimeters. Question 12. Shown is an L-shaped figure with sides that add up in total length. Calculate the perimeter. You have these options. Option A, 20. Option B, 25. Option C, 30. Option D, 35. And option E, 40. The answer is option C, 30. To find the perimeter of any shape, we add up the lengths of all the sides. If you add the lengths of all the outer edges of the L shape, you'll find that it adds up to 30 centimeters. Continue with question number 13. Question number 13. Shown below is a square, with each side measuring 3 centimeters. Work out the perimeter of the square. We have options A, 11, B, 12, C, 13, D, 14, and E, 15. The answer is option B, 12. Now remember, a square has 4 sides that are all the same length. So to find the perimeter, we add up all the sides, or we can say 4 sides multiplied by 3 centimeters each, which gives us 12 centimeters. Question number 14. A square has an area of 36 square centimeters. Find the perimeter of this square. Our options are A, 36, B, 40, C, 20, D, 24, and E, 16. The correct answer here is option D, 24. Now this one is a bit tricky. To get the side length of a square, when we know the area, we find the square root. The square root of 36 is 6. So each side is 6 centimeters long. Then, just like before, the perimeter is 4 times 6, giving us 24 centimeters. Question number 15. Liam has rectangular tiles that are 11 centimeters by 3 centimeters, and he arranges them into an L shape. The question asks, what is the perimeter of Liam's L shape? Our options are A, 36, B, 40, C, 20, D, 24, and E, 50. The correct answer is option E, 50. To work this out, we have to imagine tracing around the entire outside of the L shape. Then, we add up all of those outside edges. If we add up all of the lengths carefully, we will find it totals 50 centimeters. Question number 16. We have a triangle with a base of 10 centimeters, a vertical height of 5 centimeters, and another side measuring 8 centimeters. The question is, calculate the area of the triangle. Our options are A, 36, B, 40, C, 20, D, 25, and E, 16. The answer is option D, 25. Remember, the area of a triangle is half of the base multiplied by the height. So half of 10 times 5 is 25 square centimeters. We don't need that extra side length for the area. Question number 17. We have a rectangle with a width of 15.7 centimeters and a perimeter of 85 centimeters. The question asks, calculate the length of the rectangle. Our options are A, 36.6, B, 26.8, C, 20.4, D, 24.2, and E, 16.8. The correct answer is option B, 26.8. The formula for the perimeter is 2 times the length plus the width. So 2 times the length plus 15.7 equals 85. That means length plus 15.7 equals 42.5, and the length is therefore 26.8 centimeters. Question number 18. A newborn baby is a girl. Which word from the box best describes the likelihood of this event? Our options are A, impossible, B, unlikely, C, even, D, likely, and E, certain. The answer here is option C, even. The chance of a newborn baby being a girl is roughly 1/2, and we describe this as having an even chance. Question number 19. You throw an ordinary die and get a 2. Which word from the box best describes the likelihood of this event? Our options are A, impossible, B, unlikely, C, even, D, likely, and E, certain. The answer is option B, unlikely. Getting a specific number on a normal 6-sided die has a 1 in 6 chance, which is considered unlikely. Question number 20. The cards in a box are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. A card is selected at random. Find the probability that the number on the card is 3. Our options are A, 1/6, B, 2/6, C, 3/6, D, 4/6, and E, 5/6. The answer is option A, 1/6. There's only one card with the number 3 on it, out of a total of 6 possible cards. Question number 21. Using the same 6 cards, find the probability that the number on the card is an odd number. Our options are A, 1/6, B, 2/6, C, 3/6, D, 4/6, and E, 5/6. The answer is option C, 3/6. The odd numbers from that set are 1, 3, and 5. That means there are 3 odd numbers out of 6 possible. Question number 22. Leah has 12 cards, each with a shape on it. Some of them have a star, circle, or triangle. What is the probability that Leah takes a card with a star on it? Our options are A, 1/12, B, 2/12, C, 3/12, D, 4/12, and E, 5/12. The correct answer is option A, 1/12. The information says there's only one star card out of the 12. Question number 23. What is the probability that Leah takes a card with a triangle on it? The options are A, 1/12, B, 2/12, C, 3/12, D, 4/12, and E, 5/12. The answer is option E, 5/12. This is because there are 5 triangle cards out of the total of 12. Question number 24. What is the probability that Leah takes a card with a circle on it? Our options are A, 1/2, B, 2/12, C, 3/12, D, 4/12, and E, 5/12. The answer is option A, 1/2. We know that there are 6 circle cards out of the 12 total cards, and 6 out of 12 is the same as 1/2. Question number 25. Edith plants a daffodil bulb. The probability that it will grow is 0.8. What is the probability that the bulb will not grow? Our options are A, 0, B, 0.1, C, 0.2, D, 0.3, and E, 1. The correct answer is option C, 0.2. If the chance of growing is 0.8, then the chance of not growing is 1 minus 0.8, which is 0.2. Question number 26. Work out the angle between the big hand, which is the minute hand, and the small hand, the hour hand, on the clock that's given. We have 5 options. Option A is 30, option B is 40, option C is 60, option D is 80, and option E is 90. The correct answer is option E, 90. On the clock face that we're looking at, the hour and minute hands make a right angle, which is exactly 90 degrees. Moving on to question 27. Work out the angle between the big hand and the small hand on another clock. The options are A is 130, B is 140, C is 160, D is 150, and E is 190. The answer is option D, 150. If we measure the positions of the hands on the clock, the space between them adds up to 150 degrees. Now for question 28. Shown is an equilateral triangle. Find the size of the angle marked EA. Our options are A is 30, B is 40, C is 60, D is 80, and E is 90. The answer is C, 60. Remember, all angles in an equilateral triangle are equal, and they each measure 60 degrees. Next is question 29. Work out the size of x, given the diagram with several x angles all around a single point. The options are A is 30, B is 40, C is 60, D is 80, and E is 90. The answer is C, 60. Because of the geometric conditions, each angle x ends up being 60 degrees. Question number 30 asks, work out the size of angle y in the figure that has angles of 120, 35, and y. Our options are A is 30, B is 155, C is 160, D is 180, and E is 190. The correct answer is B, 155. When we understand how angles add up in that configuration, we find that y must equal 155 degrees. Let's go to question 31. Shown below is a wooden picture frame with outer dimensions of 12 centimeters by 14 centimeters and an inner space of 8 centimeters by 10 centimeters. We need to work out the area of the shaded part. Our options are A is 78, B is 83, C is 84, D is 88, and E is 96. The answer is D, 88. First, find the area of the entire outer rectangle, which is 12 times 14, giving us 168 square centimeters. Then, we find the area of the inner rectangle, which is 8 times 10, and that is 80. Now, we subtract the area of the inner rectangle, 80, from the area of the outer rectangle, 168, which leaves us with 88 square centimeters for the shaded frame. Question 32 says, a logo is made up of a rectangle and an isosceles triangle. Calculate the total area of this logo. The options are A is 135, B is 183, C is 184, D is 188, and E is 196. The correct answer is option A, 135. When you work out the area of the rectangle and the area of the triangle separately, and then add those two numbers together, you get a total of 135 square centimeters. Now let's look at question 33. Below is a right-angled triangle with sides 12 centimeters, 13 centimeters, and a base of 5 centimeters. There is also a rectangle with a width of 10 centimeters and a length of x centimeters. The area of the triangle is the same as the area of the rectangle. Calculate x. Our options are A is 3, B is 5, C is 6, D is 7, and E is 8. The answer is A, 3. The triangle's area is calculated by doing 1/2 of the base, which is 5, times the height, which is 12, giving us 30. So the area of the rectangle, which is 10 times x, has to also be 30. If 10 times x equals 30, that means x has to be 3. Question number 34. Mr. Jones is tiling his kitchen floor, which measures 300 centimeters by 200 centimeters. Each tile measures 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters. How many tiles does he need? The options are A is 30, B is 50, C is 60, D is 100, and E is 80. The answer is D, 100. First, we find the area that each tile covers, which is 30 times 20, which gives us 600 square centimeters. Then, we find the total area of the floor, which is 300 times 200, giving us 60,000 square centimeters. Then we divide 60,000 by 600, and that gives us 100 tiles needed. Finally, question 35 says, Sean has a box with 6 blue pens, 8 black pens, and 3 red pens, for a total of 17 pens. What is the probability that he will pick a blue pen? The options are A is 8 over 17, B is 3 over 17, C is 6 over 17, D is 6 over 15, and E is 1/4. The correct answer is option C, 6 over 17. Since there are 6 blue pens and a total of 17 pens, the probability of picking a blue pen is 6 out of 17. Question number 36. What is the probability that he will pick a green pen? The options are A is 1/2, B is 0, C is 6 over 17, D is 6 over 15, and E is 1/4. The correct answer is option B, 0. This is because there are no green pens in the box at all. Now for question 37. More blue pens are added to the box, so that the probability of selecting a blue pen becomes 1/2. How many blue pens were added? The options are A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, and E is 6. The answer is option D, 5. Let's say X is the number of blue pens that were added. Then we have 6 plus X blue pens out of a total of 17 plus X total pens. If we set 6 plus X divided by 17 plus X equal to 1/2 and solve for X, we find that X equals 5. Moving on to question 38. Ralph has 9 cards numbered from 1 to 9. He picks a card at random. What is the probability that the chosen card is the number 8? The options are A is 1/9, B is 8/9, C is 4/9, D is 1/2, and E is 1/10. The answer is option A, 1/9. There is only one card with the number 8 out of the 9 total cards. Question 39. What is the probability that the chosen card is a square number? The options are A is 1/9, B is 3/9, C is 4/9, D is 1/2, and E is 2/9. The answer is option B, 3/9. The square numbers from 1 to 9 are 1, 4, and 9, so that's 3 out of the 9 cards. Now for question number 40. What is the probability that the chosen card is a prime number? Our options are A is 1/9, B is 3/9, C is 4/9, D is 1/2, and E is 2/9. The answer is option C, 4/9. The prime numbers between 1 and 9 are 2, 3, 5, and 7, which means there are 4 out of 9 cards. Let's do question 41. There are 12 red roses, 5 yellow roses, and 3 white roses in a vase. Felix takes a rose at random. Write down the probability that he takes a red or a white rose. Our options are A is 15 over 19, B is 14 over 20, C is 12 over 20, D is 12 over 24, and E is, well, it's just 3 dots. The answer is option D, 12 over 24. According to the answer key, this is the fraction they have chosen. It's important to know that this could be a simplified or equivalent fraction depending on how it's listed. This represents the number of red roses plus white roses. Lastly, question 42. Write down the probability that Felix takes a rose that is not red. The options are A is 8 over 19, B is 8 over 12, C is 12 over 20, D is 2 over 4, and E is 2 over 5. The answer is option E, 2 over 5. There are 5 yellow and 3 white roses, which makes 8 roses that are not red. There are a total of 20 roses, so that's 8 out of 20, which simplifies to 2 over 5. Our Year 5 Mini Mock 4 walkthrough. So question number 1. The question asks, the passage suggests that husky puppies differ from yellow Labrador puppies in their, and gives us 4 options. Option A is coloring and tail length. Option B, ears and fur pattern. Option C, coloring and ears. Option D, tail length and fur pattern. Now the correct answer here is letter C, coloring and ears. The passage explains that a husky puppy has a very distinctive black and white coat, and its ears stand straight up. These are the key differences that make it look unlike a yellow Labrador puppy, which usually has droopy ears. Moving on to question number 2. It says, the narrator first learns about cat breeds from her, with the options being A, husband, B, aunt, C, neighbor, D, roommate. The answer to this question is letter D, roommate. The text tells us that it was the narrator's roommate who brought a cat into their home. This is when the narrator started learning about all the different types of cats, like the Maine Coon. Now for question number 3, we have, as used in paragraph 10, the word debate is used to denote A, with the options A, discussion, B, disagreement, C, disturbance, D, disorder. The correct answer here is letter B, disagreement. Remember, in that part of the passage, they weren't just chatting calmly about cats. There was a strong disagreement about whether the big cat they saw was really a cat, so a debate means a disagreement. Let's take a look at question number 4. This question asks, the passage suggests that the first step to identifying a cat breed is to note, with options, A, what color a cat's fur is, B, how big a cat is, C, how long a cat's fur is, D, what color a cat's eyes are. And the right answer here is C, how long a cat's fur is. The passage mentions that the first thing you notice when trying to identify a cat is if it has long or short hair. This first difference helps to narrow down the breed it might be. Okay, question number 5. It says, which of the following is not a long-haired cat breed? With options, A, Siamese cat, B, Maine Coon cat, C, Norwegian forest cat, D, Turkish van cat. The answer here is letter A, Siamese cat. While Maine Coons, Norwegian forest cats, and Turkish vans are known for their long fur, Siamese cats have a shorter coat. Next up is question number 6. It asks, in paragraph 14, the author. And the options are A, provides statistics about different cat breeds around the world. B, describes how to tell apart two different cats. C, explains why it is hard to classify cats into breeds. D, argues that cats can live anywhere in the world. The correct answer is C, explains why it is hard to classify cats into breeds. In this part, the author explains that because cats travel so freely and mix together, it makes figuring out their specific breed very confusing. Moving on to question number 7, it asks, the narrator suggests that most cat breeds are the result of, with the options, A, crossbreeding or mutations, B, breeders and cat shows, C, crossbreeding and globalization, D, globalization and nature. The correct answer is A, crossbreeding or mutations. The passage says that most cat breeds we have today are the result of natural crosses and random mutations that have happened over time. And finally, question number 8. This question asks, in this passage, the narrator, with the options, A, uses a story about her life to provide information about different breeds of cats. B, tells a story about her life to describe the troubles with finding purebred cats. C, describes different varieties of cat breeds in a purely scientific viewpoint. D, discusses the different types of cat breeds to suggest that dog breeds are easier to identify. The answer is letter A, uses a story about her life to provide information about different breeds of cats. The narrator uses her own experiences to teach us all about different types of cat breeds. Let's continue with question number 9. This question asks, the main contrast described in this passage is between K-shit and gives us a few options. Option A, live bands and music players. Option B, ownership of music and access to it. Option C, subscription services and free services. Option D, cost of music and ease of mobility. The answer here is letter B, ownership of music and access to it. The passage is comparing the idea of buying and keeping music forever versus paying for access to music without owning the songs. That's what the story focuses on, and how listeners can either buy music or subscribe to listen. Now moving on to question number 10. It says, in paragraph 1, the author writes, so if Billy wanted to hear his favorite song, he would have to wait until a band of musicians actually got together and played it. This sentence is intended to, with options, A, give a summary, B, make a conclusion, C, provide an example, D, add a detail. The correct answer is C, provide an example. The author gives us a quick example to show how, before technology, you could only hear live music, which helps us picture how different things were back then. Okay, let's look at question 11. It asks, according to the passage, which of the following came before cassette tapes in the advancement of music players, and gives us a few options using Roman numerals. I, records. 2, phonographs. 3, compact discs. The options are A, I only, B, I and 2 only, C, 2 and 3 only, D, I, 2 and 3. The correct answer is letter B, I and II only. Both records and phonographs came before cassette tapes. Compact discs actually came after cassette tapes. The passage gives us a timeline with phonographs first, then records, then 8-tracks, cassettes, and finally compact discs. For question number 12, we have, as used in paragraph 2, it can be understood that duration is related to and options. A. Service. B. Cost. C. Strength. D. Time. The answer to this question is letter D. Time. In this case, duration means how long your music subscription lasts. Let's move on to question 13. It asks, according to the passage, the benefits of access to music through subscription services include, with the options, I. Speed. 2. Cost. 3. Mobility. And the options are A. I only. B. I and II only. C. II and III only. D. I, II, and III. The correct answer is letter C. II and III only, which are cost and mobility. It is mentioned that subscriptions can be less expensive than buying music and that you can listen to them on different devices. Speed is not mentioned as a specific benefit in the passage. All right, for question number 14. The question says, based on information in the passage, it can be understood that one problem with using a subscription service to access music is, and the options are, A. In the long run, it costs more money to subscribe than to buy. B. The service can only be used to listen to music on one device. C. You need to have an internet connection to play the music. D. It is hard to choose your favorite music from so many songs. The correct answer is letter C. You need to have an internet connection to play the music. The passage mentions that streaming through a subscription requires the internet, which can be a problem if you don't have access. Let's take a look at question number 15. It says, the author suggests that listeners who are satisfied with access to music tend to be, and options are A. Younger. B. Wiser. C. More wealthy. D. More modern. The answer here is letter A. Younger. The passage explains that while many people still prefer to own their music, a younger generation is growing up with the idea that access is normal, suggesting it is more popular with younger people. Finally, let's look at question 16. It asks, which of the following statements accurately describes the organization of this passage? With the options. A. A question is asked and then answered. B. An opinion is offered and then defended using examples. C. A history is given, an argument is presented, and a question is asked. D. A background is established, a debate is outlined, and a winner is decided upon. The answer is letter D. A background is established, a debate is outlined, and a winner is decided upon. The passage starts with the history of music, then introduces a debate about owning versus accessing music, and then suggests that the newer generation prefers access. Continue with question number 17. The sentence is, you can't fully appreciate foreign literature in translation. We have options A, B, C, D, and E, with no mistake. The answer here is option C. The reason is that the word foreign is misspelled. It should be spelled foreign with an R before the E, like this, F-O-R-E-I-G-N. Moving on to question 18. The sentence is, the political weakness of the commoners corresponded to their economic weakness. Again, we have options A, B, C, D, and E, no mistake. The answer is option C, because the word corresponded is misspelled. The correct spelling is C-O-R-R-E-S-P-O-N-D-E-D, corresponded. So we need an extra R. Now for question 19. The sentence reads, the jockey collided with a pedestrian, knocked himself out, and is sidelined with concussion. The answer is option B, and that's because pedestrian is misspelled. The correct way to spell it is P-E-D-E-S-T-R-I-A-N, pedestrian. There's an E after the did. Let's look at question 20. The sentence is, the plane had a breakdown in the air, but it was fortunately removed by the ace pilot. The answer is option C, because the word fortunately needs to be spelled correctly. It should be spelled F-O-R-T-U-N-A-T-E-L-Y, fortunately, with an A after the N. Next is question 21. The sentence is, concealed video cameras scan every part of the school's classrooms. The answer is option A, because concealed is misspelled. It should be spelled concealed, C-O-N-C-E-A-L-E-D. We need a C instead of an as. Now for question 22. The sentence is, as you were born here, it makes sense for my group to take the map. The answer is option B. The sentence needs a comma after here. It should read, as you were born here, it makes sense for my group to take the map. This pause makes the sentence flow better. Question 23 is next. The sentence is, at 15, he was more worldly than his older cousins who lived in the country. The answer is option C. The apostrophe is not in the correct place. It should either be cousins who lived or cousins' lives. Let's move on to question 24. The sentence is, Mary cried out, Andrew, can you help me install this software? The answer is option E, which means there are no mistakes. This sentence is perfect as is. Now for question 25. The sentence says, for all pain helps to make us rise, however much we may hate it at the time. The answer is option B. We need commas around however to separate it from the main part of the sentence. It should be, for all pain helps to make us rise, however much we may hate it at the time. Let's proceed to question 26. The sentence is, should the function of children's television be to entertain or to enlighten? The answer is option B, because the word children's is written incorrectly. The correct way to spell it is children's, with the apostrophe before the SIs. Question 27 is next, and this is a fill-in-the-blank question. The sentence is, I can't put my finger blank it, but there's something different about you. The options are in, with, below, for, and on. The answer is option E, on. The full phrase we need to use is, I can't put my finger on it. Let's do question 28 now, another fill-in-the-blank question. The sentence is, she confessed to me that she, blank, his true identity for some time. The options are had known, was knowing, had been knowing, have known, and know. The correct answer is option A, had known. We use had known because the knowing happened before the confession, so we need past perfect tense. Moving on to question 29, a fill-in-the-blank question as well. The sentence says, the doctor is often more be feared than the disease. The options are for, in, with, up, and to. The answer is option E, to. The complete phrase is more to be feared than. Now for question 30. The sentence is, the Prime Minister, blank, always demanding active intervention early on. The options are were, with, was, where, and where. The answer is option C, was. We use was because it fits correctly with the Prime Minister, as we're talking about one person. And finally, question 31, another fill in the blank. The sentence is, it won't make much difference, blank, you go today or tomorrow. The options are whether, where, with whether, and when. The answer is option D, whether. We use whether because it introduces a choice between two options, today or tomorrow. Question number 1 of our verbal reasoning homework. Question number 1. We have two pairs of words here, struck, hit, and conquered, defeated. We need to find one word that fits with both of these pairs. Think of it like a bridge connecting these two ideas. Our options are A, victorious, B, smacked, C, slapped, D, lost, or E, beaten. The correct answer is E, beaten. When someone is beaten, it can mean they were struck, like in a fight, or it can mean they were defeated, like in a game. Question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 2. We have the pairs, cost, fee, and rush attack. We need to find a word that fits both pairs. Our options are A, bill, B, hurry, C, charge, D, price, or E, hit. The answer is C, charge. A charge can be the amount you pay for something, like a cost or a fee, but it can also mean to rush forward, like an attack. Question number 3. Okay, on to question number 3, where we see the pairs, hook, latch, and grab, grasp. We're looking for the word that works with both. Our options are A, cling, B, hold, C, claw, D, catch, or E, spring. The correct answer is D, catch. You can catch or latch something, and catch also means to grab or grasp something. Question number 4. Question 4 presents us with the pairs, strip, stripe, and group orchestra. What word links them? The choices we have are A, streak, B, fanfare, C, band, D, chevron, or E, undress? The answer is C, band. A band can be a strip or stripe, like on clothing, and it's also a group of musicians, like an orchestra. Question number 5. Let's go to question number 5 with the pairs sprint, rush, and manage, organize. What is the common word? We have the options. A, prepare, B, charge, C, direct, D, run, or E, coordinate. The correct answer here is D, run. Run can mean to sprint or rush, and you can also run a business, meaning to manage or organize it. Question number 6. For question number 6, our word pairs are pinpoint, target, and ambition, objective. Let's find their link. The options are A, point, B, aim, C, dream, D, aspiration, or E, location. The answer is B, aim. You can aim to pinpoint a target, and you can also have an aim for your ambition or objective. Question number 7. Now we are going to move on to a different type of question. In question 7, we need to complete the third pair of words based on the first 2 pairs of words. Our first 2 pairs of words are ladder, dead, and garden, read. So now we must apply the same change to the last word, which is factor, underscore, underscore, underscore. Let's see what the rule is. It appears that you take the last 2 letters of each word and move it to the front of the word, which creates a new word, so we need to apply that to the word factor. Our options are A, fact, B, coat, C, fort, D, cart, or E, coal. The answer here is B, coat. Following the rule of swapping the last 2 letters to the start, factor transforms into coat. Question number 8. We will now look at question 8, which follows the same format. Our first 2 pairs of words are target, gate, and roared, road. Based on this, we need to change soften, underscore, 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 using that same rule. So let's see what is happening here. It looks like the letter T has been removed, and the remaining letters of the word have been rearranged. Our options are A, toes, B, scent, C, note, D, tens, or E, tone. The correct answer is E, tone. Removing the T from the word and rearranging the letters gives tone. Question number 9. Question 9 has the pairs either, tier, and donate, node. What does dawdle turn into using the same rule? Our options are A, lead, B, wade, C, weld, D, deal, or E, dale. The correct answer is B, wade. By swapping around the letters in the same way as the first 2 examples, dawdle turns into wade. Question number 10. Now we will look at question number 10. This one asks us to complete the third pair using the rule from the previous pairs. Our pairs are trimmer, timer, and planner, panel. What will terrace, underscore, underscore, underscore become? The options are A, crate, B, cater, C, carrot, D, track, or E, trace. The answer is E, trace. It looks like the second R and a letter M or N have been removed from the word, and the remaining letters have been rearranged to make the new word. Following that pattern, terrace becomes trace. Question number 11. Moving on to question 11, our given word pairs are letters, rest, and gutters, rust. Let's see how the word baskets is transformed by that rule. The options here are A, teak, B, stab, C, task, D, seat, or E, seize. The correct answer is C, task. Using the same transformation or letter rearrangement from the earlier pairs, baskets becomes task. Question number 12. Question 12 presents us with the pairs future, turf, and thrift, rift. The word we need to transform is define. The options are A, find, B, dine, C, fine, D, fend, or E, diet. The answer is A, find. If we apply the same letter pattern, the word define transforms into find. Question number 13. Let's move on to question 13 with the pairs tissue, issues, and bridge, bridges. What will happen to stable? We have the options. A, cables, B, fables, C, sables, D, gables, or E, tables. The correct answer is E, tables. The same rule that was applied to the first 2 pairs turns stable into table. Let's continue with question number 14. So we have the pairs banana, nan, career, air, and then settle underscore underscore underscore. We need to complete that third pair. The options are option A, let, option B, set, option C, lee, option D, t, and option E, t. The correct answer is option A, let. If you remove certain letters from the word settle, you get let, just like how the other pairs work. All right, let's move on to question number 15. Here, we're given repeat, tape, valley, yell, and spiral, underscore, underscore, underscore. We need to figure out the last pair. Our options are option A, pair, option B, layer, option C, rail, option D, pale, and option E, lapse. The answer is option B, layer. In this case, the word spiral was transformed following the pattern of the first two pairs, resulting in layer. Now for question number 16, we have the following. Draw, ward, part, trap, and rats, underscore, underscore, underscore. We need to find the missing word. The options are option A, tars, option B, arts, option C, star, option D, stir, and option E, tart. The correct answer here is option C, star. If you reverse or rearrange the letters in rats in the same way as the other pairs, you get star. Question number 17. Question 17. 53 minus 9 minus 7 equals 6 times 3 plus what missing number? The options are A, 18, B, 21, C, 19, D, 17, or E, 14. The correct answer is C, 19. Let's solve this step by step. First, we subtract 53 minus 9, which equals 44. Then, we subtract 7 from 44, which gives us 37. Now, on the other side of the equal sign, we have 6 times 3, which equals 18. To find the missing number, we need to figure out what we need to add to 18 to reach 37, and that number is 19. So the missing number is 19. Question 18. 90 divided by 15 plus 8 equals 28 divided by 4 plus what missing number? The options are A, 9, B, 7, C, 4, D, 6, or E, 5. The correct answer is B, 7. Let's solve this one as well. First, we divide 90 by 15, which equals 6. Then, we add 8 to 6, which gives us 14. On the other side of the equal sign, we divide 28 by 4, which equals 7. To balance both sides, we need to add 7 to 7 to reach 14, so the missing number is 7. Question 19. 3 times 4 times 5 equals 2 times 3 times what missing number? The options are A, 10, B, 8, C, 12, D, 6, or E, 9. The correct answer is A, 10. Let's break this one down. First, we multiply 3 times 4 times 5, which equals 60. Now we have 60 on one side of the equal sign. On the other side, we have 2 times 3, which equals 6. Now we need to figure out what we need to multiply by 6 to get to 60, and that number is 10. So the missing number is 10. Question 20. 16 divided by 4 times 8 equals 5 times 9 minus what missing number? The options are A, 23, B, 18, C, 15, D, 17, or E, 13. The correct answer is E, 13. Let's solve this one step by step. First, we divide 16 by 4, which equals 4. Then, we multiply 4 by 8, which gives us 32. On the other side, we multiply 5 times 9, which equals 45. To find the missing number, we need to figure out what we need to subtract from 45 to get 32, which is 13. So the missing number is 13. Question 21. 150 divided by 3 plus 6 equals 8 times 3 plus what missing number? The options are A, 30, B, 31, C, 33, D, 32, or E, 38. The correct answer is D, 32. Let's solve this one step by step. First, we divide 150 by 3, which equals 50. Then, we add 6 to 50, which gives us 56. On the other side of the equal sign, we multiply 8 times 3, which equals 24. Now, to find the missing number, we need to figure out what number we need to add to 24 to get 56, and the answer is 32. So the missing number is 32. Question 22. 19 plus 35 plus 17 equals 5 times 9 plus what missing number? The options are A, 28, B, 33, C34, D25, or E26? The correct answer is E26. First, let's add 19 plus 35 plus 17, which equals 71. Now, on the other side of the equal sign, we multiply 5 times 9, which equals 45. To find the missing number, we need to figure out what number we need to add to 45 to get 71, and the answer is 26. So the missing number is 26. Question 23. 54 divided by 6 times 12 equals 9 times 2 times. What missing number? The options are A8, B7, C9, D5, or E6. The correct answer is E6. Let's do this step by step. First, we divide 54 by 6, which equals 9. Then, we multiply 9 by 12, which equals 108. On the other side of the equal sign, we have 9 times 2, which equals 18. Now, to find the missing number, we need to figure out what number we need to multiply by 18 to get 108, which is 6. So the missing number is 6. Question 24. 48 divided by 16 times 8 equals 12 times 3 minus what missing number? The options are A, 15, B, 17, C, 13, D, 12, or E, 12. The correct answer is E, 12. Let's solve this one. First, we divide 48 by 16, which equals 3. Then, we multiply 3 by 8, which equals 24. On the other side of the equals sign, we have 12 times 3, which equals 36. To find the missing number, we need to figure out what we have to subtract from 36 to get 24, and that number is 12. So the missing number is 12. Question 25. 115 minus 30 minus 25 equals 20 plus 17 plus what missing number? The options are A, 23, B, 28, C, 25, D, 24, or E, 26. The correct answer is A, 23. Let's solve this one together. First, we subtract 30 from 115, which equals 85. Then, we subtract 25 from 85, which equals 60. On the other side of the equals sign, we add 20 plus 17, which equals 37. Now we need to figure out what we need to add to 37 to get 60, and that number is 23. So the missing number is 23. Question 26. 85 divided by 5 plus 4 equals 30 divided by 2 plus what missing number? The options are A9, B2, C7, D5, or E6. The correct answer is E6. Let's break it down. First, we divide 85 by 5, which equals 17. Then, we add 4 to 17, which gives us 21. On the other side of the equal sign, we divide 30 by 2, which equals 15. Now we need to figure out what we need to add to 15 to get 21, and that number is 6. So the missing number is 6. And that completes all the questions.